Does the future make you uncomfortable?
Yeah. I don't like to think about the future. I don't like to think about my future. I don't like to think about the world's future.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Okay. What does it make you feel?
It makes me feel uncomfortable. I just get very nervous. I get very nervous. I get very stressed. It makes me feel almost what I assume claustrophobia would feel like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like there's not enough time ever to do all the things that you could possibly want to do.
Yeah.
I don't like the unknown. I feel like a lot of it is also like I have a very profound fear of making mistakes. The blankness of the future and the possibility to make mistakes stresses me out a lot. I also have a fear of like I'm lying on my deathbed and I look back at my life and I think I regret everything.
No.
Yeah.
When you think about like the future, your future, the world's future, is that something that you think about often?
No.
Okay.
I make a point not to think about
Not to think about it.
When I graduated from like uni, I thought about it a lot and it stressed like full breakdowns. Like as I say it out loud, I'm like, this is so stupid.
No, it's not stupid.
It's a little bit stupid.
No, I don't think it's stupid.
Normal people are afraid of like, sharks and stuff, things that could kill them.
What is a normal person? Please describe. Yeah.
Go.
Me. Yeah.
I also think that a lot of my fear for the future comes from like I never learned how to plan for the future. Like, how you used to be in high school and they'd be like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I didn't see myself anywhere.
I think that's a lot of pressure.
And I could never it is a lot.
I think it's
for a child.
Especially like when I think back to high school as well, it's like, what do you want to study? What career do you want for the rest of your life? How are you supposed to make those decisions? I'm 16 years old.
I don't even know what I'm having for
What's
breakfast.
a career?
For breakfast tomorrow, I don't know. I couldn't even make a lunch for myself a day in advance. And you're going to sit there and ask me what I want to do for university in 5 months.
And for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
Because they made it seem so finite. Like the decision that you made was it and you had to stick to it.
Yeah. So maybe it's everybody else's fault.
You're uncomfortable when you think about your future.
Yeah.
Where you're going, where you want to go, like where you expect yourself to be,
I
which aspect.
I don't even get that. I just don't think about it.
Okay.
Is that like I don't think about where I'm gonna be. I don't think about where I want to be. I don't think.
What about like, for example, like today, before we were recording today. Yesterday, did you think about today?
Yeah, and I panicked.
Oh, no.
Because I went, what if this happens? What if this happens? What about if in 6 months this happens? What if that happens?
Yeah. Okay, so you start to think even further than the next.
I snowball.
Yeah.
And then so I'd rather just not think about it at all.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Because if you're like living, because now you're like thinking about like 6 months into the future.
But about things that will most likely not happen.
Okay.
But I still think about them because I'm like,
that's called planning. Worst case scenario planning.
Is it planning? It feels more like doomsdaying. That's what it feels like to me.
I don't think it's a bad thing though, but I think like not thinking about the future at all is a bit like you're living. Are you living like day by day, moment by moment?
I live in the
task
now. I live in the now.
In the present.
Appreciate the present.
This day right here.
Yeah, I just try not to think about it too much. Like little things, like things that I have to plan. Like, oh, my birthday's coming up. I got to plan for this and that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But it's just like that whole thing of like not knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Not knowing what my decision will turn into. Not knowing, you know what I mean?
And what about if you don't know?
It's terrifying.
It just happens.
I don't know if you know this, but I don't like to not know things. I want to know everything. I don't like to be.
We'll find out.
I can't know. There's nothing freeing about that for me. Only terror.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're very different in this.
Yeah, because I feel like
I'm just like, woo, we'll find out.
Yeah, and I also feel like you kind of enjoy the like chaos that comes from not in like a bad, not necessarily bad chaos.
Yeah.
But I feel like you like that prospect of like thinking on your feet, like this has happened and now like how do I
react?
I feel like you kind of enjoy that kind of like adrenaline rush that comes with it.
I think it's just like because I used to like think about the future a lot. Like I remember in high school, like I'd planned out literally my whole life trajectory. I wanted to be married at 28 with 2 kids. I'm single. No children in sight, not a single one. But I literally had like life milestones. How much of that was like because of like my environment
Yes.
and like the societal cultural expectations? Yeah, we'll never know. But
we can
probably,
assume
like a lot.
we can assume it's quite a bit.
Like a lot. But I used to plan a lot, and then when things stop going according to plan, you start to realize there's no point of having like
A plan.
a set plan. Like have an outline, have a
Yeah.
skeleton.
Because there's a lot of things in your life that are not in your control.
Yeah.
So no matter how much you plan for everything, something weird's gonna happen.
Something's always going to happen.
Exhibit A.
What?
COVID.
No.
Who could possibly have planned for that? Nobody knew that was gonna happen. So whatever.
Well, I feel like
plans you had.
some countries plan for a pandemic.
Yeah, but also I feel like they plan for it in like but this is never gonna happen. Kind of way.
It's
Not
kind of
like this is gonna happen in 3 months, and then we're not gonna fucking leave the house.
You
for
know that
years.
America has a zombie plan?
And you know what? I appreciate it.
Do
I have a
should go-
hypothetical zombie plan.
you have a hypothetical zombie
Yeah,
plan?
like I know where I would go, and like
Are you gonna share or is that like
no.
okay?
This is for me only. When the zombies come, it's every woman for herself. Because I think about those things.
Yeah.
Those things that are never gonna happen.
But
But
do
I'm
you
like,
think
what would
about
I do
like
if they did?
the future in a positive way, like in a bright way as well? Like think about like, oh my gosh, I could end up being XYZ and I would fulfill this lifelong dream and passion of mine, you know, like in the
I
realization
feel like
of that.
the best way that I can explain it is that any positivity that I feel towards the future, or any like positive scenarios that I like plan for, are fan fiction. That's the best way that I can explain it. Like it's like me like making up the most egregious,
But then
like,
when it comes to,
insane
like,
thing that could ever happen.
the
being like, that's my
doomsday
future.
things, then this is like real. This could actually happen. Like,
Yeah,
but the things that are like positive,
it's like that's not even that could happen to me. That could never be me happy.
what is that?
Never felt hurt.
Shit, I wouldn't think about the future if I were to. I wouldn't,
Yeah.
because
And you know what? Like I've never had the plan. You know how you were saying like you had like your whole life planned out.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people do that. I've never like planned out any aspect of my life.
So was there never like any influence, like whether it's familial, friends, cultural, like in terms of like what you're supposed to be embodying at certain life stages?
I feel like I've said this to you before and to our friends before, where
Yeah.
like where you guys are generationally,
Yeah.
is where my parents were.
Oh, so true.
Because my parents were all, like kids of immigrants, so
Yeah.
I feel like they had that like expectation and like this is what your life's meant to be like, and this is how you have to plan out your life. And so when they had kids, they were like,
So if I have children, this would be their life.
yeah, perhaps
like no,
perhaps
like no set out sort of like
yeah. Which to an extent, I kind of wish that like
there was
they
that
were
structure.
a little bit like you should do this.
Yeah.
You're doing this, because then at least I'd have something that I was like, I had a goal.
But
you know?
even
at
like
least I have a goal.
cultural, like coming like from a Greek background, like even cultural, there's none of that cultural sort of like
But we're also like everybody in my family is like diaspora Greek. We're not like you know what I mean. Like we're all third, second generation, so it's
different.
yeah, it's very much like Greek Australian, not just Greek. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we got like tastes of both.
And when you think about the future in terms of like the world, where do you go?
Bad vibes.
Where do you go?
Bad vibes. Well,
Where do you
I don't know if this is like a general thing for kids, but when I found out about like black holes and the sun was gonna die at that, my immediate thought was, this is gonna happen next week.
Okay. I don't know much about black holes.
Oh,
Maybe that's why I'm so
maybe that's why you're not space.
Maybe that's why I'm chilling.
Yeah. Once you learn about space, I feel like that's where all your future planning goes to shit. Everything's gonna end.
Okay.
That's also terrifying to me, but that's a topic for another time.
Okay.
Anyway, to summarize, the future is scary.
Okay. Fair enough. That's so fair enough.
Okay, so Alison,
Yes.
does the future make you uncomfortable?
No. The
Surprise!
Surprise! The future excites me.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in time, I think there was a time where like because I told you I had a plan for pretty much
Yeah.
everything until 30. I had a plan at 16, 15 till 30. 15 years into the future, I was planning. And when that plan started to fall apart and who I had defined myself to be started to fall apart,
Yeah.
that's when it was honestly it is one of the most liberating feelings ever. Because that's when I actually started to enjoy thinking about the future.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything I thought and everything that I had planned, like majority of it didn't come true.
Yeah, and then you kind of also, as you grew, you're like, wait, there's different options?
There's
different?
I don't have to just do this one specified
Wait
thing.
a second, I don't have to fully have kids. I could choose to wait.
You have to go find out what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes that comes with disappointment because maybe the sometimes ignorance is blissful. Like
ignorance, great, not scary.
Maybe if I didn't know that, I could have done.
If I didn't know about black holes and the sun exploding, my child would have been happier.
But then sometimes you find through people, and my experience is usually through people and how they live their lives. You find alternative or alternate ways of living.
Yes.
And through that, I get really excited. As soon as I started to break down my plan, or rather my plan started to fall apart, at first I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Pull it together. And I think it was that feeling of you're letting not only yourself, but everyone down.
Yeah. Because everybody else, like, you've told them this is what I'm doing.
Yeah. As soon as that happened, it was a freeing feeling because now I could stop thinking about like the future as a set destination and rather a series of events. And you know when you said earlier that like you think about sometimes like being on your deathbed and being like thinking about the things that you didn't do.
Yeah.
No. I think like I have that fear as well, which is why I act on it every single day.
Yeah.
Like I act on it every single day.
I
like,
find that interesting where yours is like, oh, yours is more a fear of like, why didn't I do that? And it's like, so that way you go out and do it. Whereas mine's more like a fear of, why did I do that? So then I just don't do anything.
Ah.
You know what I mean?
Because then that's linked to like probably fear of making mistakes.
Yeah.
Mistakes for me at this point, because I am a perfectionist, like I'm a recovering perfectionist. Because that stuff isn't good for you. But as someone who wants to control so much and have everything perfect by the time that it comes out, or by the time that other people perceive it, it's too much pressure on yourself. And mistakes are inevitable because that's how you learn. You can't learn without making mistakes. In my mind, like if I don't make mistakes, I'm at a standstill. Even though in the context of work and personal life and like family and any sort of relationships, if I don't mess up, I didn't learn anything and I didn't get the opportunity. You didn't get the opportunity to tell me how my actions have affected you. You know what I mean?
How I could like
and
change.
how I could change, because I want to do better. I want to do better and right by the people that I care about, and I want to do better and right by me. Which is why, like, when I'm interested in something, I'm like, it would be wrong of me not to, within my capacity right now. Obviously, I can't do everything at the same time, despite me trying to all the time. But it would be remiss of me to not explore this thing because it gave me like I had that feeling of excitement, like or of intrigue when I think about that thing. So when I think about the future, I'm excited because it's like endless possibilities, and I see how many things excite me. Like I get excited by flowers outside.
Wild.
And like I look out
with your hay fever.
Like I'm walking, and I see the beautiful flower, and I stop, and I'm like, oh my God.
And then you go, and then your eyes start watering, and your throat starts
so beautiful. Thinking about the future just fills me, in summary, with excitement.
In summary.
Information.
However, therefore,
warm regards. I know that they're going to be challenges, and I know that I'm going to go through periods of time where I'm like, what the heck is going on? I can swear, actually, this is
yeah. I've already swore several times. Sworn?
So, I don't know.
I said
sworn. Why the fuck did I do that? You know what I mean? Like, why did I do that? That was a stupid thing for me to do. There have been periods in my life where I've already done that. I'm like, Elsa, what the fuck? Why did you do that? Don't, not like that. But if I didn't experience that, I wouldn't have learned.
Yeah.
So I think because like I love learning, similar to you, like, but we're different learners.
Yeah.
I'm an experiential learner.
I'm straight in the books.
I
I live by experiencing through others.
You know that mistake you made, Alison? I'll never make it.
I remember how that mistake you made me feel. And I wrote it up.
I'm okay with there being obstacles because I know that because I'm dedicated and committed to being the best version of myself and the best person that I can be, that I'm going to take those learnings and use them to build me up as a person.
Yeah.
And by building me up as a person, it's building the community up as a person. Not as a person, the community up as a community.
The community up as one person.
As one.
We are one large big person.
But we are, really. But that's a topic for another thing.
Does the thought of the world's future make you uncomfortable?
Honestly, I think there is so much beauty in the world, but what we're fed is everything that's going wrong.
Yeah, I think that too. I feel like those are the grabbing headlines.
It's sort of fear-mongering because there's so much beauty in the world, but it's not celebrated on a day-to-day basis. No one's going outside and being like, wow, what a great day to be alive. And recording. Yeah, well, not everyone.
You are.
I am. By myself.
I'm not. I'm going, oh, I woke up again.
I say, what a good day to be alive. Woo, 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 woo.
The sun is shining.
Do you guys hear that? It's the birds. They're tweeting. But not a lot of people experience life like that, and I think it's because we're fed so much negativity all the time that you're actually countering everything that you're being programmed to do by actively looking for all the good in the world, right? Yeah. So thinking about the world's future as in like where we're going to end up, I think the world is going to be fine. I think we are the ones that are going to be effed up.
Yeah.
She was fine before us, she's gonna be fine after us.
Was she?
I don't know.
She was fine like before us.
That's what I mean.
Collective.
Yes.
Before human.
Mm-hmm. She's gonna be fine after us too. She's gonna be shit, that was hard, but
she's like, wow, got through that one.
I think really like the future is beyond us, beyond humans.
Yeah.
Like, we can't even think about the infinite possibilities that the future holds because it's beyond our existence. So,
not my problem.
Yeah. Listen, man, I'm gonna do the best that I can do within my control, and that's really all I can do.
Yeah.
That's really all. What else can I do? Like, I can't convince anyone to do anything.
I can barely convince myself.
If I, as an individual, can't do anything,
what's the point of it work?
Why are you telling me? Anyway, I think I should stop it there because
all that to say, the future does not make you uncomfortable.
The future does not make me uncomfortable. It actually excites me. The unknown excites me. Learning excites me. Yeah, full stop. End of the story. That's it from us, guys. If you want to join the discussion, make sure to check out our Instagram.
And if you liked the episode, prove it. Mm-hmm. Like, subscribe, the other stuff. You know what to do.
All right. Peace, love.
See you next time.